Firstly, hi everyone, and welcome to this Zooming panel about being LGBTI and living on country. Aboriginal LGBTI and living on country. Firstly, my name is Peter Wapples-Crime. I'm Naragu and a health educator here in the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander project at Thorn Harbour Health. I would like to acknowledge the land I'm zooming in from today, which is the mighty Bunurong. And I want to pay respects to their elders past, present and emerging. I also want to extend that acknowledgement out to all the countries you find yourself on and acknowledge any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people that might be watching this recording. And just remind people that sovereignty was never ceded. The yarning panel today, I have Charmaine, Clark and Damien Bell, who are Aboriginal and part of the LGBTIQ community, and they live on their traditional countries. For Damien and Charmaine, this is the land of the Gunditjmara people in Western Victoria. I want to welcome you both today to the yarning panel. And firstly, I'll get each of you to introduce yourselves, your mob, your roles, and where are you zooming in from? Do you, and just think about the question, do you identify with one of the letters of the LGBTIQA plus community? Who'd like to go first? Do you want to start, Charmaine?
I think the younger one should go first, Damien.
Oh. I was going to say the other gender should go first. No.
The younger one.
All right, go on, Damien.
Yep. No, my name is Damien Bell. I'm a Gunditjmara. I live in Cape Bridgewater. I work out of Hayward. My work role is the CEO of the Gunditjmara Traditional Owners Aboriginal Corporation. We look after the native title rights and interests and cultural heritage of the Gunditjmara people. More recently, you would have heard about us with the Budge Bim World Heritage listing, which was very deadly. And I'm a big G and supportive of every letter in the alphabet.
Too deadly. Yep.
And this is my auntie Charmaine.
Yeah. My birthday's actually on the 28th of this month, so I turned 54. So, yeah, my name's Charmaine Clark, Gunditjmara woman. Both sides of my family. My father, I'm actually on my father's country. I'm in Warrnambool, on the beautiful country in the beautiful coastal town of Warrnambool. I work at the Gunditjmara Aboriginal Cooperative based here in Warrnambool, and I work as an Indigenous family violence researcher, so researching family violence, got a background in mental health and such things, and it's something I'm really passionate about as well. I came out when I was 12 at high school, and I identify with the beautiful big L lesbian, been out and proud since then.
Charmaine, it's really nice. Thanks a lot for the introductions, and look, I'm really interested. I called this sort of queer on country because I was thinking about my own experience, and I don't live on country. You know, Naragu country is a high country, and I find myself on the lands of the Bunurong and Wurundjeri people. And a lot of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander mob moved to cities to come out, and but I've never actually lived on my country. You are living and working on your traditional homelands, and in both in cultural roles, really, and that really interests me. Can you expand on this? Did you ever leave country and come back, or have you never left? You know, so a bit more.
I'll respond first this time.
Yep.
I actually stolen generation, so I grew up in Ballarat. Excuse me. So I was taken there. Taken off my parents when I was 2.5, and then moved to Ballarat to the institutions there. So I grew up there until I was about 15. At 15 years of age, as I said before, I actually came out when I was 12 in Ballarat at high school. And then when I was, and being raised without any real contact with my Indigenous community and my family and such, I actually moved to Melbourne because that's where the biggest, largest Indigenous population that I knew existed, and also a really robust, fantastic, vibrant gay and lesbian, QIT, that particular community as well for me to actually find myself. It was a journey of self-discovery on a whole range of levels, not just culturally, but also as my human self as a sexual being, as a, coming out as my sexual identity. And it was a massive, it had its challenges, but at the same time, it was remarkable. It's like I just didn't realise this whole world existed for me as well. I did, though, culturally have some challenges around, here I was going, I'm Aboriginal, but I'm also a lesbian. It wasn't always received as those two things being equated with each other. So I had a few weird looks and sometimes a bit of a pushback as well. But when I found the Indigenous communities, also the LGBTQI community there in Melbourne, and that's when I finally found my people, so to speak, culturally. So that gave me a lot of sense of self-worth, self-discovery, that it's also, these two things do not eliminate each other, that you can actually be an Indigenous person and also be a member of the LGBTQI community and be just as cultural as any other person in the community. It was a challenge, though. I mean, I did have some pushback, some pretty negative pushback, but I also had met my community, and that was really essential for my well-being and my sense of, who I was, and helped me get through some of those challenges. So when I actually eventually came back to my actual culture and to my actual country at the age of 17, I'd already met and actually, had those experiences of combining the two, knowing that they reside quite healthily and strongly within myself. But when I actually came out then to my community in back home on country, it was less of an ordeal, and I actually found the words and the language for that.
Yes.
Thanks, man. I have I guess I have adoption in my story. So, coming back to culture later is a story I relate to as well,
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, some challenges there, hey, brother? All right. What about you, Damien?
Yeah.
Oh, well, born in Hayward, brought up Gunditjmara, and then 18 went to Melbourne. Wonderful. Well, I was in Portland, going to school in Portland. You'd be running the school disco, but only you get ripped for only playing Madonna records and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
And there was no reason to question why. Just play more. But getting to Melbourne is always an awakening, and you find your people, as Charmaine talked about, and you go along. How would you say? It wasn't difficult, but it was really guarded for a while for where I was working and all that kind of stuff. Because I never told my mother I was gay until I was 27. I didn't really worry about everyone else because that was my business and all that kind of stuff. But when it came that time to let my mother know, it was good. It was strange because she just said, "Oh well, look, I love you the most. I've got 8 brothers and sisters," and she just yeah, you're the best. I said, "Oh, sweet." So when I told my other brothers and sisters, they said, "Yeah, she says that to all of us." So that's how good that is. Yes. But from then, I remember the crew that was down there. There was Charmaine. There was all the Out Black mobs. When Out Black sort of started, it was still just sort of men mainly and performers, our drag artists, and the lesbian crew were there. But when we'd have a night out down at the Morning Star, or where else at the Glass House, if we're all out or in the Glass House, that's when things got scary.
Behave.
You start on me. But it was so good to have the community, and then also elders, the few elders that we had, like Uncle Albert and Uncle Lloydie, they looked after everyone. Yeah. And even just talking about when we come home, I come home about the age of 22 to work at one of our organisations, and it was pretty tough. Not just with a little old town like Hayward, but just with the work and the community pressure and all that kind of stuff. And I remember one day, my brother, he come around, he said, "Oh, I've got a visitor for you." And it was Uncle Lloyd. Oh, He said, "Oh, darling, I've just come in to check on you. I know what this town's bloody like, and I've just come to check on you with you and your work, with your culture and all that." And it was just made my day, and just give you that strength again about who you are as a Gunditj Mara, who you are as a gay person, and just he helped me make up my mind about a couple of things, and then ended up going back to Melbourne, living at Peter Rott's, and just being there, and then with work, because this stuff, it isn't a career, it's a culture.
Yeah.
And we're so lucky to be able to work for our people, to have that privilege, to see all the achievements. Those times when they drive us, they test us out and all that kind of stuff. Yes. But it's such a privilege, because we do have a wonderful culture, and we have a wonderful community, and we have our heroes, and we're all in it together, because for Gunditj Mara, there's no one else on the planet to help care for Gunditj Mara country, and that's us as Gunditj Mara people, for our ancestors.
Yeah, actually, Damien, I want to actually emphasise what you said earlier, and I think we need to, as you and I, we've both had the same support and experience, is those two remarkable elders, Uncle Darky and Uncle Lloydie. Without them being a part of my support and yours, I can't imagine how many young Indigenous, gay, lesbian, LGBTQI members who went to the city to try and find safety, to come out safely. The two men, these beautiful couple, hadn't helped.
Together for 40 years.
I lived with them. They took me in. I was homeless. I lived with them. They took me in. They helped me. They've mentored me and supported me. Yeah.
I've got the best photo I just got this week. When they did the David Rhodes. He passed away last weekend.
David did?
Yes. We've just been working with him to bring all his crew down to do some awareness stuff. But they sent a photo of the dig for the dormitory site from 1984. And guess who's in the photo? Yes, I'll send it to you. Just how, yes. And David's there. Peter Ferguson's there. This one. Because you were at the lake, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, when I did a short course, when I did a short course with AFTERS, the Australian Film and Television School, it was a short course for young, it wasn't necessarily LGBTQI, just any young person who wanted to put their hand up and learn some skills. I think it was a 2-week intensive course, and we made a short documentary, almost like a guerrilla doc. So you had 48 hours to make this documentary, and I did it on Uncle Lloydie and Uncle Darky.
Oh, wow.
It was called Queens in the Castle. This is when they lived in the high-rises there.
Yeah, Harbour Street.
And Uncle Darky was not very well. He was in a hospital cot in the unit, and Uncle Lloydie looking after him before he actually went into palliative care.
Yeah.
And heard their story. These two beautiful Indigenous men who grew up in the children's home back in the 50s, where they've had to face more than just prejudice on one level, exceptional levels of prejudice. And they've been together for over 40 years, and such iconic Indigenous men in the gay and lesbian community, for Indigenous people, for the entire state. And I think they actually deserve some honourable acknowledgement as well for what they've done for the Indigenous LGBTQI community in Victoria.
When Uncle Lloydie passed away and he came home, we had the funeral at the cemetery, and like his brothers and sisters were there, and the community was there.
Yeah.
And they were talking about him, but they talked about his friend, Albert.
Yes.
And they talked about
that language,
life and all that. Yeah, and it got to me because I know what it meant to us. And so I spoke. I said, look, he was our out black uncle. He looked after everyone, and then everyone come out from the crowd talking like that, and it was just such a respectful revelation, I suppose, for us and our pride in him and his family for the realisation, because you'd have to say half of us wouldn't be here.
Agree.
Yeah.
Completely agree with you, my cousin.
Yeah.
I'm just blown away. Like, they sound iconic, these elders.
They are.
Oh, lovely.
Peter,
Just,
they are.
Someone we all of us as queer mob need elders like that. That's how amazing.
oh, so lucky to have them.
Yeah.
You know, you had your sort of ones here and there way back when in my age, but they were the ones that were always there. They were always known. No excuses, no regrets, just their story. Do you still have the doco?
I've been trying to find it.
Okay.
Honestly, I've been trying to find it. If anyone can help me find it,
Pride Centre.
thanks to them.
Knowledge.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to try and recreate it somehow. Just
Yeah.
did they have them talk?
I mean, there should be an award or some sort of recognition of them. To be honest, it's something we owe them.
Yeah, cool.
We owe them big time.
I'll talk to you later.
No problems, my cousin.
Just give me an idea. But they just
Did they sort of guide you to, I was going to talk a bit more about your roles in cultural organisations. Do you think their guidance and the way they held you as Aboriginal LGBTI people, Good Day Tomorrow, LGBTI people, really, here you are both working in really big cultural roles as well, and I think, Charmaine, you were talking a bit about sometimes we can see those identities as separate or something, and we know they're not.
You do get torn because I actually when I came out to the community in Melbourne when I first came, I was 15, right? I actually got fired because I came out.
Okay.
I was working with the Victorian Aboriginal Health Service back then.
Mm-hmm.
This was back in 1983, 84, 83. And I got fired. I lost my job for being, coming out as a lesbian. And it was Uncle Lloydie and Uncle Darky who helped me reconcile it with all that anger and that sense of, I felt, 15 years of age, you've been rejected by your own community.
Yeah.
I was in a very fragile place. And it was Uncle Lloyd and Uncle Darky, Indigenous men, elders, who actually gave me a sense that, no, you do belong. You do belong. But there's certain levels of difficulty for some of our community around certain elements of who we are.
Well, I guess that leads on to this next question about...
Just do you think that had something to do with Stolen Generation coming back as well?
No. It was the young ones. It was about prejudice around. It was the other young colleagues, female colleagues, who freaked out, thinking that me being out would have then tarred them, so to speak, that then they would be perceived by the community as being also a lesbian as well. So they refused to work with me. They boycotted working with me. So I was asked to leave.
They still there?
No, I got an apology. I got an emphatic apology from the person who was my manager at the time. Later, I don't care how later, I actually got a one-on-one apology from them. And they, a really sincere apology for the prejudice that existed back then.
They would have felt horrified, later in the years, realised.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
There's a lot of them stories. Oh, not like...
Not as
blunt as that.
I think it's actually religion. The influx of the missions. We've got to actually remember the history of the influences that actually happened to Indigenous communities. Yeah. People will put on missions and then given this particular construct in order to give up their culture and believe in this construct, in which religion has its own prejudice, particularly against Indigenous sexuality.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've explored that a bit in other panels and it comes up. It's just part of, our history as well, the mission and churches and religions and all the things that were imposed on us as part of colonisation. Leading on from that, Damien, like, is it easy to be LGBTI and living on country? I guess, things have changed over time as well. And what are some of the benefits and what are some of the downsides?
I remember a couple of years ago, there was like I've been home 20 years, I've been home again this time 20 years. And I suppose one of the things that I classify myself as a worker, we've got work to do. We've got to keep that dirt floor clean. We've got to do that. So when I remember a couple of years ago, it was before one of the state elections, and there was a queer mob get together over in Warrnambool. And I thought, oh yeah, I'll go over there and have a look what's around, but see what they're doing politically, because there was a thing coming up. What do you call them? It was a fundraising event. I think for the Greens, and I want Charmaine to talk about her experiences, because Charmaine's always been the pretty cool one of the Gunditj Mara, even though I'm 2 foot taller. She's pretty cool, and she would run for the Australian Senate. She did this, she done that. Just an amazing path. Or in our language, path is darn. So you're on your darn. Because if I hear another, darn. If I hear another person say I'm on my journey, oh no. When I crossed there, and like there's all white fellas and all that kind of stuff. And we're sitting there, and then the next week they had a barbecue and all that, so I went to that. And then we're sitting there, everything's fine, and then someone made a joke about Framlingham. And I said, oh, hang on, my grandmother was born at Framlingham. And they would, so just sort of, you'd be looking for your queer community, but like the rest of the world, there's a bit of racism in there that puts you off. Down here, it's, I suppose, when they talk about, when they talk about a transient mob, you can sort of say it's a fluid mob, because I suppose we've been alive enough to see people come and go, and live here and not live here and all that kind of stuff. But I think, not being in Melbourne anymore, you lost a bit of that community. But through, I suppose, through the Out Black network when it was going, and plus you're mobbing your mates, and then with what's been down now with Corey Pride Victoria, it's bringing people back together. Down here, like I live out in the bush, there's nothing around. I come into town for work, and I suppose it's all been magnified with COVID. Everyone's had to keep to themselves and all that kind of stuff. So, but here, doing my work, I suppose for a while there's no one else around. But just this week, I was with Jimmy today. He come down for work. Brian's come down Thursday for work. We're doing this now. So for a good couple of months of not doing nothing, here we are in the 1 week, and it's topped up my big G in a work way, because it's other First People, people from the queer community, and they're here, they're working for their organisations. And it's all about community development. It's all about country, supporting First Nation communities. And it's really topped me up. I'll be right for Christmas now. Yeah. But it's all I do is me and do my work and uphold my community and my country, my culture. And like I said, it's a privilege doing that, and just so lucky to be in the position that I have, being who I am as a gay person and being a Gunditj Mara. Double G. GG.
GG.
I'll need it. I'll need my first tattoo. It's just, but knowing Charmaine's just over in Warrnambool, knowing that she's there every now and again, like that graduation, that time when you see you around. The breast screening, sure.
Yeah,
That
just
was really
behind
good
me.
to see that. Yes, that's what that is. Yeah,
Yeah, it's the Warrnambool one.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Rebecca Clayton designed it. Yeah,
Yeah, and but just seeing, not only seeing our mob, but seeing our queer mob doing things is pretty
absolutely.
brilliant. Yeah, it's amazing. And for the sort of hassles and the frustrations we went through, it's nice to look after the young ones coming.
Absolutely, and be
That's
responsible
something
for
amazing.
them too.
Yeah.
How do you nurture the young ones? How do you, you know?
You get them off the tip first.
Well,
No.
actually, no. Actually, when I came out and stuff and reconnected with my family, particularly my mum, this is a conversation my mum actually had with me about me being a lesbian.
Mhm.
Number one, she said to me, she outed me. I didn't come out to her. She actually outed me
Wow.
in the comments. She said, Dort, I know you're lesbian. And I lied. I went, no, I'm not. She said, yes, you are. Yes, you are. I was 14, still in my school uniform.
Jeez.
Till eventually I went, okay, Mum, yes. And she said it was fine.
Yeah.
She said, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
This is women's business. And she said, if you know, it's a phase potentially, and maybe it's not. My mum it didn't bother her one bit. It wasn't about it. It was about me, the person. This is a facet of me. She wanted me to be happy. She also wanted me to be safe. She knew that being gay or lesbian could be a dangerous thing for me.
Yes.
Indigenous woman and lesbian could be a double jeopardy as well. She was more concerned about that than the fact that I was attracted to my own gender. Nah, she even, I know she's passed, so forgive me, Mum, but Mum even told me about her own experiences as well. I went, yes, tell me more, Mum, tell me more.
Can I do this once? Sure.
So yeah, Mum, if I was going to describe Mum's sexuality, my mum was bisexual. She told me so. And yeah, it's natural, as far as Mum said. She did not make it a religious thing. My mum never got hoodwinked by the religious narrative at all. To her, it was being a human being. And
she
being
was.
a human being at that. Yeah.
Oh, look, I think that just these conversations are going to be amazing for people to listen to. I'm really, I don't know, I feel really uplifted. I was going to ask what your advice to young LGBTI mob are in the community. If people are watching this and tune in and see it on the Thorn Harbour, see this yarn, what would you say now? I know where there's a different generation and different, we've seen queer be a derogative word in our time to being something that I've even reclaimed, because I've been given some sort of permission by the youngies, to just take that word back. And I'm always driven by activism myself, but that word is used a lot in the younger generation.
I'd just use it, and not being disrespectful, but sometimes I can't keep up with the alphabet.
Me neither, to be honest.
It's amazing the breadth of the representation that we have on this side of the sheet, and it's just I remember that session that they had at Brunswick a couple of years ago. That was more for our trans community. And just the power and strength with the brother boys and the sister girls. Oh my goodness. Thank the land and the ancestors for them. Just to see that strength, that survival, that really that affected me so greatly. It was just like, what a weekend. Brother boys, they were also little. But gee, they were deadly. There for their culture, there for learning, and for all that sort of where do we fit in, especially on that broad sheet. Where do we fit in? It was just within that gathering. That was where we fit in, where we fitted in culturally with each other, with this First Peoples or these First Nations. Oh, I'm tangenting again.
No, it's beautiful what you just said.
It was deadly. It was just
Yeah. I mean, I grew up, I used to be called Charlie Brown. I used to pretend I was a boy. I even went to my first blue light as Charlie, not as Charmaine, because I wanted to kiss a girl.
Oh, Charlie, Charmaine. Yeah.
I couldn't get away with it. I didn't get to kiss a girl. I just was too terrified of being found out. But I'm not trans myself, but I understand I mean, I have a really masculine energy that I absolutely love, embrace it, and a feminine energy that I love and embrace. To me, it's about my energy source, not so much the body that it inhabits. And also it's my cultural, my spiritual narrative to me is where I actually get my sense of true authenticity. That's how I express myself. I hate dresses, always have. When I finished high school, I left high school at 15, I burnt my dress. Did I delight in burning the stupid thing? I hate dresses even to this day, and I don't wear makeup. The thing is, though, you know, for me, in our culture, there's a lot of creation stories and stuff that have nothing to do with whether you've got boobs, tits, or genitals or whatever. They're about what's inside. It's about the spirit and the nature and the character of a human being or the creation. And that, to me, is how you measure and how you contribute it in your life. You can dress whatever way you wish. I hate dresses, although I will wear a kilt and a sporran. Of course I will.
Of course you would.
Absolutely, I'll wear one of those. But to me, it's not about being male or female. It's about, I think we're all a bit of both. We're all both. I think Indigenous culture actually has that understanding of both as well, more so than the dichotomy of churches and stuff that are just black and white. If you look at all species, we live in nature. Nature is so diverse as well, extremely diverse in its expressions and such, and how animals cohabitate or procreate and stuff like that. So to me, it is just the nature of things. I'm not into this. I'm into, there it is. This is it all. Magnificent, diverse, brilliant, beautiful, like the rainbow, which I love.
Yes.
And that's how I see our culture. Has always had that beautiful view of the world and us in it as well.
Once it shines through, because there's a lot of blinkers, like you're talking with the church and all that kind of stuff, and that.
That's why I go back on country, sit on country, and be around nature itself. It'll speak back to you. You'll find your place.
When we had the last Outback camp down here, we went out to Bridgewater and walked along the cliffs, and the rainbow come out and shine on everyone. They all just jaw dropping. I said, Damien, you're the best thing on earth. So yes, that's what we do here on Gunditj Mara country.
Exactly, cuz. Exactly.
Yeah. But it was it is like that. But it's wonderful getting older and seeing it shine through as well, especially the younger ones. And some of the older ones who are finding their way. They're always fun.
Yeah, some have been forced into certain behaviours because of prejudices.
Yeah.
To the young ones, though, I don't want them to lose their roots.
Yeah.
There's a lot of politics and discourse and stuff, social media and all those sorts of things. And then it's nice. I mean, gosh, we went to Melbourne, we had our fun and stuff. But don't lose your cultural roots as well.
Yeah.
You can bring that narrative, your learnings back into your culture as well. And that's where it can be passed on and enriched and stay strong and be passed on to the next generations as well. And
with that, there's so much more now. I mean, there's a lot of barriers that have been broken down. We've got our groups, we've got our networks, we've got our family and our families, and just that broader that broader work that's been done. Because I think of people like like our elders, the ones that have the privilege of getting to this age and older, because we've lost a lot along the way. Yes. But then I think about, like, we're doing our thing, but it's supported through networks like how would you say, like people like Roe. I think Roe does a good job in keeping us engaged and allowing us to do what we need to do as First Nations people. But yeah, for the young ones, look, just don't lose your roots. Know who you are. Even I think, I mean, not that I could say, but even with stolen generation, you're still here. Someone always knows, and someone always comes home, and we're here. And just, I know with being in the job I've got, we got a lot of people who were stolen, and a lot of people who grew up away from here because their grandparents chose a different way to survive the racism, the way the world was and still is. And when they come home, it's look, all we have is Gunditj Mara country and the culture from that. As long as we have that and we respect that and care for it,
I don't know. I just lost that a bit, Damien. So
the most profound thing I've ever said.
There we go.
it was the most.
No, just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know what Charmaine was talking about, the country, the connection to country, the continuing in the country. It's so much strength. It's always exciting. You're obligated culturally to be responsible for country. And there's always, I suppose, with all that, with our culture, with our society, I don't have children, but I find families that are there, they have a lot more things to get through. Yes, I don't have as many hassles, but I compensate that by supporting what I can. That's all right.
I'm the same.
Ready. Yeah.
Yep. We are aunties and uncles. We're extended family. We help, godparents. I'm godmother a couple of times over. A great auntie, actually, a grand auntie as well. So, yeah,
and they're good. And it's good when they're sneaking through.
I mean, we could have children if we wish, but I've chosen not to.
Yeah.
That's been an actual choice of mine. So.
Well, I was gonna, but my mother said, no, you're not having babies with lesbians.
Well,
no, that wasn't my final choice, of course.
No, fair enough.
Some of my best friends and cousins are lesbians.
The thing is, though, it was fear. They'll taught to fear us. They'll taught to fear human
strange
sexuality.
ones.
To fear human sexuality.
Yeah.
That's what they were taught to fear, and that's the church for you.
Yeah.
But it's changed a lot since those days. Thank God.
Okay, we might wrap this up. It used to be amazing, and like I've gotten so much out of this. You know, like I don't know if you'll ever know what how powerful your spirits are, and so is there any final things you want to say to the audience, or it's about being cultural beings, you know.
You can balance it. You don't have to choose between. You are you. All your parts, all your facets, your cultural self. That's something that goes millennial, and country is millennial. As we are in the beginning and middle and the end of our biological lives, that's our journey as well, and. Our human sexuality does not diminish. It does not do anything. If anything, it's just a wonderful, beautiful aspect of who we are. I love being a lesbian. I love being an Indigenous lesbian. I love who I am, and I've never regretted it. I don't regret it. I don't feel any shame about it whatsoever.
Well, I hope a lot of young people, Damien, did you want to say? I just hope a lot of mob who maybe can think about, going back to country, doing cultural roles and, being out.
Oh, look, you've got work to do. You got all the pressures from the world, from being part of the queer mob, you got all that coming down on you. You got this and you got that, but you are a First Nations person.
Absolutely.
You have country to look after, and whatever you can, you need to look after country. You might have old bigoted aunties and uncles and all that kind of stuff and this and that, but you've got work to do on country. You need to find it out. You need to be an activist like old Auntie Charmaine there. You need to be a worker like me, and most importantly, you need to have art. We have the most amazing art and culture, the oldest art and culture in the world, and we have artists like poor old Uncle Peter down there. Look behind me. This art. This is created by our grandfathers. It's a representation of Woolwich Mara people. We dated the eruption of Budge Bin at 37,000 years old last year. And all the geologists in America freaked out because it's the oldest story. Our creation story for Budge Bin is the oldest story they can pinpoint to time. That's how immense it is. That's in that linear time frame, which means something. But all of it is country, it's culture. Do your best, be respectful, learn. Just don't stop learning. But yes, do that work.
Do the work. All right, we might leave it there. Thanks so much for joining me. It's been a real absolute pleasure, you two.